What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a fantastic and a good news edition of Seahawks Today. I am Will Ortner, and I do want to make sure that you all know we got great injury news coming from the Seahawks. Two players are back. Shout out Stu Feiner. A couple of players, while they are not back yet, they are practicing with the team, and that is important. So we'll talk about them being out for this game, but what does their outlook look like on when they can return to the team? And then we do unfortunately have to talk about some bad injury news for the Falcons, which, based on the law of how this works, is going to end up being pretty good news for the Seattle Seahawks. So this is a last minute Seahawks news before your Week 14 game against the Atlanta Falcons. First, I want to start with who's back. That is Jarran Reed, and that is Julian Love. Head coach Mike McDonald had his presser just minutes ago, sat through it, listened to the whole thing, took notes, and I wanted to give you my opinion on it. Now, Love and Reed, McDonald said, are going to give it a go on Sunday. That is huge because you're getting two starters back. You've basically, for the last, 4 or 5 weeks been playing down two guys, but for most of the year, you've been playing down multiple guys that were starters in multiple spots. Nicky Manwari obviously missed some time. Devin Witherspoon missed some time. Ernest Jones missed some time. Josh Jobe missed time. Reek Woolen missed time. I mean, the list goes on and on. DeMarcus Lawrence missed time. Like, you go down the list, everyone at some point feels like they have missed some time. Now, I don't want to downplay the backups, especially Ty Okudah for Julian Love. He's played lights out. He's been absolutely fantastic and earned himself more playing time and more reps. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if Julian Love comes back and they ease him into it. What do I mean by that? I don't need Julian Love against the Atlanta Falcons to have 80 snaps on defense or whatever that number is. Whatever the normal snaps amount for him, give him half. Let's split time. Let's go series by series. Love, Okudah, Love, Okudah, Love, Okudah. I'm cool with that. Okudah, after that first Tampa Bay week, dude really struggled. Since then, he's been nails for you, and he gets better every single week. And he does a great job on special teams, too. Julian Love, I want him 100% for the Rams game. I don't really care about the Falcons or the Colts game. I think you can win those games without him at 100%. To be honest, I think you can win that Rams game without Julian Love. I think it's a heck of a lot easier to win that game with a healthy Julian Love. So to me, let's use this as a 2-game ramp-up period, especially against the Falcons. Julian Love isn't going to make the difference between whether you beat the Falcons or not, but it can be a great way to work him back into this squad, get him back up to 100%. I mean, how many times have we seen guys come back from being injured, and it takes them 2 or 3 weeks to be ready to go, to be 100%, to get their feet back underneath them? I want that for Love. And we're about to go down a stretch where you got to win a lot of football games. You have to. We have to. The Seahawks have to beat the Rams and the 49ers if they want to have any hope at winning the NFC West. And I do believe that the winner of the NFC West will be the number 1 team in the NFC. So how do you beat them? Well, you have all your stars on the field, and Julian Love is a flat-out star. He's been a Pro Bowler in the past. He is a guy that Seattle's been missing because he hasn't been there since Week 4. Now, the defense obviously still putting up gigantic numbers, but they're putting up those gigantic numbers before you were at 100% strength. Yes. I can't wait to see Julian Love back out there on the field, creating havoc and being that leader in the secondary. Now to Jarran Reed. Jarran Reed was one of those weird injuries where he was full participant, out, and on IR. And it was quick, right? It was on a Friday, Saturday. He went from full participant in practice, barely even on the injury report, to, hey, he's done and you're not going to see him for a month. Getting him back out on the field just opens things up so much more for everyone else. I mean, I've gone ad nauseum. The video earlier today was about how great your interior defensive linemen have been. Now you're adding the third guy to it. You have Batman, you have Robin, and now you get Alfred back. And that seems like a dig at Jarran Reed, but I promise you it isn't. He's a good freaking player. There's a reason why he's been a veteran in the NFL for so long. He fits this scheme, he fits this system, and he does the dirty work. He is the ultimate interior defensive lineman's defensive lineman. He's short, he's squatty, he's strong, but when he needs to be quick, he's quick and he's explosive. Getting Jarran Reed back is a huge get, especially for a group that likes to rotate a lot. This is going to make things easier on that defensive line that's already balling out. Now, it is important. We're going to talk about a couple of guys that aren't able to go this week for the Seahawks. I'm going to start with the guy that I expected to not be ready to go, and that's defensive tackle Rylie Mills. Now, I've talked to you a bunch of times on this channel, so I don't need to go into greater detail on it. But essentially, Rylie Mills, he's coming off an ACL tear. He needs as much ramp-up time as he can get. He's basically at a year right now. Most guys aren't back to 100% until like 18 months after the fact. I'm not a doctor, that's kind of a loose guesstimate, but how many times, other than that Adrian Peterson freak year at Minnesota, how many times have we seen guys come back from an ACL injury and be like, man, they weren't that good that year, and then the next year they're awesome again? I think that could be a potential here, and now we're talking about a guy who's a rookie. Do I think Rylie Mills can add to this Seahawks team? 100%. And I would love to see him out on the field, and I'm excited to see him out on the field. But I also understand what he's going to be. Again, that is a rotational player, a player that is used in certain instances, in certain packages, and against other formations. He is going to be a personnel type of player. So that means I don't need him back yet. He's got 21 days before he can be activated. He got activated to practice last Wednesday. So that means he's only gone through, it's a Friday right now, 9 days. So there's still plenty of time, and I expect the Seahawks to use all of that time before they activate him. Now, I got one more Seahawks player that I need to talk about that was unable to go this week, just like Rylie Mills. And I've got one piece of news from the Falcons. Before I get into that, I need to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. Prize Picks. New feature alert! Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. You want some flexibility? Choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. If you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You are not going to get Dareke Young back. He was put on IR, dealing with an injury. He was activated to practice this week. Unfortunately, he's not there yet, ready to go. What does Dareke Young add to the Seahawks, and what are the Seahawks going to be missing from him? Well, the fact that he's not out there, you're missing a big, strong, physical wide receiver. Was he going to get a ton of time this year, especially after the injury? I don't think so. I think you would see him used kind of like Cody White has been used, where, hey, every 1 or 2 games, there's a sweet catch. Cool. He did something. But where his impact is going to be felt more, just like White's, is going to be on special teams. Dareke Young is the type of guy who, remember, before he got hurt, he was on kickoff. He was one of your return guys. He's a guy who can be on punt return. He's a guy who can be on kickoff. He's a guy who can be on kick return. He already was, and he can be on punt as well, both of those sides. So he's the type of player, hands team as well, that you would like to have out there just because he adds more depth. He's also a very physical blocker, and he's been in the system the entire year. So if you were to, unfortunately, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, knock on wood if you're with me, men, but if there was an injury, Dareke Young could instantly fill in, and you wouldn't be missing a beat, right? You would just be able to plug, play, go. He's not there yet. I'm okay with the Seahawks kind of waiting on him. It's another one of those deals where, yes, I would love to have him, and I'd love to have him back on the active roster, but there's no reason to rush him yet. You don't have a ton of injuries at that wide receiver position. In fact, he's the only one. So it feels like you're going to be okay, and your production's going to stay the same, whether you have him out there or whether you do not have him out there. I hope that he gets back out on the field soon. But again, it's not one of those that you are going to immediately feel the impact. In fact, it's one of those that I think that your casual fan isn't going to understand the impact, but because you watch Seahawks Today, you're not a casual, I'm not a casual, you know how this affects your team in the special teams unit. Now, I do want to talk about what's going on with Drake London, but I do have to ask you this question. Are you nervous for this Seahawks versus Falcons game? You've had back-to-back games which were super easy. Now you're going to play the Colts in 2 weeks where, hey, that's an interesting game. The Colts, they're a playoff team right now. That's a good football team. The Atlanta Falcons are not. In the Mike Macdonald era, we've done a good job of not playing down to our opponents. That's not always been the case with the Seahawks. So let me know down below in the comment section, are you nervous for the game this Sunday? Now, the last thing that I want to get across to you is that wide receiver Drake London will not be going in this game for the Atlanta Falcons. That is huge. I told you already this week, Bijan Robinson was the only player that scares me. The reason I didn't say Drake London scared me is because I kind of thought he wasn't going to be able to play. If Drake London had been able to play, that's a big, strong, physical receiver that catches a lot of footballs. That would be an easy target for Kirk Cousins to 1, 2, 3, pop, get the ball out. Quick, easy target. Now that guy's not there. I don't buy into anything with Kyle Pitts. I don't buy anything with this offensive line. I'm not really scared of the Falcons. I got an old, you-know-what Kirk Cousins in the backfield, unable to move. This defensive line, they're going to get a ton of pressure on Kirk Cousins. Don't be shocked if this game ends early. The other thing I want to point out too, the leading sack getter for the Atlanta Falcons, Brandon Dorlus, he's not going to be ready to go for this one. So that makes life a little bit easier on your offensive line. He's been a really good player. He's been a rotational player, but he's been a really good player for the Falcons. So that is huge as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm really excited. Got 2 videos coming out for you tomorrow, so make sure you tune into those. And, of course, if you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We got daily Seahawks content coming out you do not want to miss. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.